Moves ahead, but stay inside is shot clear inside the 100 metres, and he's going to win it in a romp. Stay inside, 4 lengths clear from the fast finishing Animo, and stay inside. Tommy Berry wins his 3rd golden slipper.
Welcome to Bet Doctor, behind the curtain look at how pro punters operate. I'm your host Scoot. I'm joined by DK, the punter's punter.
Yes, Scoot, yes, by the early signs here today. We could be up and about. What's doing?
DK is steaming. He's coming in hot, and that's going to make a very, very big show. And Nico Noonan joins us again. Welcome back, Nico.
Thanks, boys. Good to be here. I was just sitting down there at the cafe getting a toasty, and DK was already into me about the sick beats he's had this week, so he's up and about, mate.
Angry little Anne and Darcy Spinks, she was stuck in Byron and now she's in COVID lockdown. So a little bit of coronavirus Queensland has crept into the Bet Doctor routine. So we've got Nico in the show again, who's on fire last week. But we've just heard the intro, which was stay inside in the slipper. And there's a couple of different angles. Let's have a look at the last 400 here. We'll cue it up and we'll watch them come up the home straight here. It's a horse that we've been talking about. Nick and I were all over it last week. But we've got Profiteer out in front. He's going really hard in the white. We've got Stay Inside, peeling to the outside, just absolutely coiled spring, just explodes. And then a horse
there
Nico knows, Animo right down the outside.
Always the stick in the right hand, fair dinkum.
Unbelievable.
Yep.
It's just deja vu, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. So I think I said from December that this horse would win the Diamond and the Slipper, and he probably should have won both. So I've been absolutely sick there. Feel like I've been robbed. Did get something out of Stay Inside on the day. Our Sydney team on the racing show were pretty keen on him. Animo's flashed home. Personally, I feel he should have won the race. But Stay Inside, that's what you get. He's just a more professional horse, isn't he? He puts himself up on the speed and, Tommy Berry too good. Getting
That's it,
J-Mac.
And the interesting thing was, listening to Tom Berry, or I think the Freedman, he said the week's break really helped the horse. And with those 2-year-olds, they're all being patched together after their campaigns and holding together. Animo's obviously a bit of a freak. He's just turning up time and time again, but Tommy Berry said that horse worked on the Tuesday before the slipper, felt much better than he did the previous week. So that week off really helped that horse, and having every possible in the run.
And Profiteer got his carrot too. He won the 1.2 Inglis Millennium, so he's not done himself any disharm there.
No,
he's had big space
and got a stud deal already, so he's already done his job for them for sure.
Yeah, and they went out quick. I just had a look. It was a pretty solidly run race, that's how he's going to go.
Yeah, I thought there was a bit of interesting commentary, like sort of around sort of all the rating beauties, sort of people that sort of do the ratings in the race. Some of them thought it was one of the best slippers we've seen, and others thought it was really bad. So I don't know. The ratings on the punting form data suggest it was pretty good. So I think that the first two can definitely go on and progress as 3-year-olds, especially Animo. He just looks like he's going to keep getting better.
Yeah, he is, man. And the other one's only in its first prep.
And you can't wait to see a horse like Animo go to, say, a Flemington or a Randwick, a nice big track with that big finish.
Well, he gets back to Randwick next start in the Sires, I'm pretty sure, no Stay Inside. So hopefully with the jockey change there, I think it'll be pretty hard to beat.
Yeah, and there's all the talk every year, what's the right form race leading up to the Slipper? And again, the Todman just shows itself up as the best lead up, and it's the I word for mine, it's intent. The hook job on Stay Inside last start was so evident. They were not there to win the Todman. If you go back and look at the replay, J-Mac played his part beautifully. He hooked it straight back to last, where you see there in the slipper, it had the tactical speed to get into the right spot, and it's PR'd, and then it's just gone absolutely bang.
The draw as well. It's the draw and the grand final coming up.
Yeah.
So I think that's either gut the horse out of the gates, get him over. And with those 2-year-olds, they're worried about him over racing. They love the cover, as we all know. So there he's drawn the other day. And just watching that overhead shot out of the gates and watching Tommy poke up, get the right spot from that beautiful draw, you know.
Great ride. Sensational ride.
Of course, and he's riding. He's flying up there, T. Berry. So.
Now, Johnny Walter's still in the cupboard. Moanga Skylab in the Rosehill Guineas.
Poor old Johnny.
Hey?
He copped it well, didn't he?
He did cop it well. I loved his little unfollow on Twitter, but it was that was an absolutely titanic battle. When Skylab hit the front, I thought, he's probably going to hang on here, and Moanga was just good enough to make that really long searching run. And Nico, I sort of got really excited when Annabelle Neesham announced that it was going to the Doncaster. All of a sudden, it's got 49.5 kilos. I think she's pulled the right rein, dropping back to a mile. What were your thoughts?
Yeah, I'd be figuring on the pulse there. Took a bit of $9. He'll start pretty short. He gets him with 49 kilos. So that's going to be a huge advantage for him. 2,000 back to the mile, down in the weights. It looks a perfect setup for a 3-year-old on that race. He's got to face Mugatoo, though, who's absolutely flying, the All-Star Mile winner. So that looks another hot race coming up in the Sydney Autumn. Yeah, I felt a bit sick for Johnny Walter there with Skylab. I thought he might kick back and beat him just because I thought he might be the better horse the further they go.
The 2,000 metre run and all that. But Moanga, he gave Moanga the perfect card up, didn't he? Moanga just followed Skylab the whole way. I mean, how much did it happen?
Suck.
Yeah, that's right. And $14 versus $2.80, whatever it was. What's going to happen anyway? No, it was a good pick by Johnny. He said Skylab, didn't he? Anyone who was listening?
He did, and it was a massive price. And I think the point he's trying to make is Skylab will be probably better suited over the Derby to Walt's defence. But that said, he did say Malonga was a bit of a cat, and DK and I were quick to jump into his defence. But it was a pretty it was a bit of half a fill up last week for the Bet Doctor fans. So hopefully we can replicate that this week. But DK,
yes, Scooty, what's happening?
Any wonder you're angry. It's been a chop out for you in March, and you've opened up the subs for $1.10, which is very generous. So you're basically working for free for April again. So anyone that wants to tune into DK's out wide set, it's $1.10 in Little Birdie shop. Make sure you check it out. Some of the horses he's found have been unreal. Real Sensation came out and was unbelievable next start at the Valley. So you're getting horses that are kicking off of maidens, then they're going to town. Or Princess Rainey's. It's won a maiden, now it's in the Vinery Stakes. In the Vinery this week. So it's going from maiden to Group 1.
American Angel will end up in a Group 1 race. Anyway, and we've backed, and a lot of them have been big shorteners, Scooty, just haven't got the chocolates on it. It was just a month of...
Laspezia in the quicksand?
Yeah, Laspezia in the quicksand. Beauty ran into a South Australian Derby horse at Hamilton. That was good. But look, it was a good learning month for me. It's the first time I'd done it. It was a chop out. Probably broke a few rules, maybe just by being trying to send, which we might talk about. There's a
grubbery.
I'll put some
pre-9. Not too much pre-9 grubbery. No, but you might have to start doing it because the prices are going pretty quick.
Well, I said we might have to send them out earlier, but But anyway, so I think there's plenty to improve. I might like and I reckon April I can only improve and get some winners.
Now, it wouldn't be... we may as well play the Admiral from Mornington just for a little bit of a giggle.
Why we want to watch this again, please.
This horse drew pretty wide. We won't show the start of the race, but he only had one option. It was a big searching run, and he's basically gone 3 wide, circled the field, and he's in the...
it was a 2,000 metre race. He finally got outside the leader at the 1,200. Kick for home.
And I thought the Busselton horse here was going to loom up.
Oh, Jimmy.
It got a stick.
No, let him worry about that Busselton. They don't hit the line in distance maidens.
Here he is. Traded very short. Probably $1.10.
What price was it? Nico, $1.10?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it hit $1.10 in run.
Here comes Graham Begg.
Went past me at $1.20.
Oh!
50 to 1 chance beats it on the line of Graham Begg of all trainers. That was sickening. But look, Scooty, what was it? 280 to evens. It's pegged as the winner of the race. It was the winner of the race. Just needed probably one little bit of luck in the run. Look, it drew wide, and I liked it because it drawn wide because it had no luck from inside draws its last 3 starts. So it just was going to roll forward, but just had to do a bit too much work early, hit the front early, and just a sniper got it.
The problem is we probably missed our chance now. Like he's probably going to go around $1.50 in one of those staying maidens.
And that's the story of my thing. I wanted to take evens American Angel, and over it goes. And it was $1.55 and won by 10 links the other night.
Yeah,
mate, this just happens all the time. So, but anyway, they're the story. As long as they're, as I said to Scooters, if you're taking 280, those even, then the market's telling you're on the right horse.
I loved the viewer feedback was hilarious. The horse that's knocked it off has drawn barrier 1. DK's famous barrier 1.
Favourite barrier. Sniped me late after sucking up on the inside. But anyway,
I think that's a Mark Lambourne pearl actually. In staying races, the inside draws can sometimes play pretty hot, and you saw it on that occasion. You got a 50 to 1 chance, sucks the fence, and if the fence is okay in run, sometimes they get that soft little suck, and when a horse like yours is out on its feet, this horse has just done no work, spent no petrol, and blouses late.
Well, there's two things there. My horse was inside draws, had no luck, to an outside draw, wanted room and momentum. The winner had been drawing out and getting back and out of the races. Finally, from inside draw, he could put it in the race and just save every inch, and that's what got it there. So there's a story of two
little pearls.
Yeah, 2 pearls. There's the Golden Switch, and one was they both were advantaged by drawing opposite. Anyway,
Bendigo for you for the Mounting Yard Males, your first set, and I tell you what, a bit of SK Warren, 5 wickets on Saturday at Bendigo. You're on fire. It was punter's paradise there, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was a good day out there at Bendigo. I've been hit back down to earth though with Soundown and losing a grand final in basketball on Monday. So, but Saturday night I was on top of the world. It was a good day out there at Bendigo. The race is shot really straight. Like it was a race, I think a track you wanted to be sort of on speed up there. A lot of the favourites sort of lobbed in that position. J Carr just producing the absolute grouse again for the punters.
Fighting Arata was never going to get beat.
Yeah, exactly. So, it was a pretty fat day there.
Looked all good. And there was a good crowd. I mean, the atmosphere's
outstanding. I've been to go. I think it's our best provincial track. I'm surprised it doesn't get more Saturday meetings off the way it sort of plays and the atmosphere they get there. I thought it was an outstanding day of racing.
And Juppy, the mayor of Bendigo.
Juppy,
our man. He was out and about Saturday night. With
very lippy.
Everyone had been to the races. His comment was, if Bendigo's any guide today, Warrnambool is going to be complete carnage. So everyone's looking to get to carnivals, looking to get to the races, looking to have a good time. It's going to be big.
Nico, and then you ran into a really smart horse, Starry Legend, in race 3. I think In the Know with Snow tipped that out for some followers on Bet Doctor. But you had Froston and Scissor Step, so you had the 20 and 30 to 1 chances there. So you've nearly blitzed the card.
I've done a post race on that race, and he's a fast horse, that Starry Legend. He ran fast there, but Froston was a great run. Run.
Froston, if they probably get moving a bit earlier, I think definitely runs a clear second.
Just needed to land a pair closer because he had the horrible draw. He just got too far back, but he was the run of the race for sure. Anyway.
It's going to be a really good show. We've got Nico previewing Caulfield. He's got 3 races that he likes there. We've got Rosehill. It's an absolute cracking card. We've got the Godfather of Pearls. We've got Mark Lambourne. DK.
And he tipped those roughies in the Golden Slipper. I think Ingratiating ran well. Captivant 100 to 1 ran 5th.
Yep.
Mark, so they were Mark's.
They're horses to follow in the future. They'll come out and they'll win races for sure. So make sure you go back through the Bet Doctor tapes. And there's a lot of horses that we find, and if they don't win the start that we're on, usually they're horses to follow. And make sure you black book a few of them. And he'll be talking Rosehill. It's a cracking card up there. It's unbelievable racing at Rosehill. And then Ascot. Thank God for Ascot.
Terry Leighton.
Yeah, Terry Leighton. Terrence, as he likes to be known. But Ascot are carrying the can for Good Friday. There's a good card at Ascot on Friday, and the Caracata Plate is on Saturday. So it's a double header at Ascot, and that's exactly what you need in Easter. And I see there's a little bit of banter on racing.com. When are the Victorian guys going to start to embrace Good Friday racing? DK doesn't want it, shaking their head.
They have a night meeting if they want one, but give the participants
a rest.
Day off. Give us punters a rest, and
there's racing on all the time. We don't need it all the time. Nico?
Yeah, we can just bet out wide in Ascot for the day. Just absolutely chase the flying sickness.
If you're a complete addict, just go and bet there. I bet Launceston only got a night meeting on as well.
I'm happy with the day off, to be honest. And if you're really itching for a bet, we'll just tune into Terry and see what he's got to say.
Exactly. I was in autopilot yesterday waiting for the fields to come out. Do the form, right? What 2 meetings have I got to do Friday? And then what? Saturday, Monday, Sunday. Oh, yeah, beautiful. Day off. Sunday. Beautiful. So it'll be prawns and
hot cross
oysters
buns
tomorrow, seafood. Seafood on Good Friday, very important.
Do the RT. All right. Big thanks to our sponsor, puntingform.com. They're Australia's best online form guide and database. They're the biggest betting syndicates get their raw data, and they build their models off the Punting Form data.
And the New South Wales speed mapper.
Yeah, the speed maps. Racing New South Wales even use the puntingform.com.au speed map. So everyone's on board Punting Form, so contact puntingform.com.au and check them out. Up next, we've got the Caulfield preview with our man, Nico Noonan. Welcome back to Bet Doctor, a behind-the-curtain look at how pro punters operate. I'm your host, Scoot. I've got DK and I've got Nico Noonan, and it's time to preview Caulfield. It's beautiful sunny weather here down in Melbourne.
Hey? Mexico, 27 every day. Got 100 yards on that North Korean joint up there, pissing rain all the time.
It's going to be a good 3, maybe a fast 2. It's going to be a road on Saturday, Nico, and let's have a look at the first race that you've plucked out here. It's a cracking card at Caulfield, and a little shout out to the Melbourne Racing Club. They've done relaxed dress code for all year round, so you can just turn up without the tie, and it's optional. How good's that, DK?
Yeah, fantastic. Now all they've got to do is relax the beer prices. That's next. So Dennis Foley was blooming last night on Twitter, $9 for a stubby or something. So Josh and all that, just trim that back a couple of bucks and it'll all be sweet.
Yeah, and if you're listening, Josh or Jake, make sure you check out Little Birdie Lager. We'll have to send you a couple of boxes. It's a mid-strength beer. It's a crisp, refreshing winner, and it's low on alcohol content, so it's a mid-strength. They're all the rage at the moment, so you can still have a couple and steer and be under the limit. So we'll send you guys a couple of boxes of Little Birdie Lager. But yes, definitely a hat tip with the relaxed racing. That is progressive thinking. That's for sure. Be interesting to see if Flemington follows suit, but it is unlikely. Now let's have a look at race 3, the Cat and Axe Redout's Choice, Great Jeweler. It's race 3. We'll get the TopSport market up, topsport.com.au. Najmardi, $2.30, rock solid. We've got a couple of horses at $5.50 here, Sliders and Hunnam. And we've got Marine 1 from the Kennel Yard, 7 into $6.50. Lloyd must be spruiking. We're going to have a quick look at the last 400 of a horse called Hunnam. Nico Noonan, talk us through this one.
Well, if you watch a replay here, punters, you'll just see this horse has absolutely no luck. He's pretty much last here, back on the fence, Damien Lane, white colours. He actually runs the third fastest last 800-metre sectional to meeting, which is astonishing, given look how much he's held up for it. The race rated huge. Crystal Bond, the winner, is going to go to Sydney, I think, in a fillies race coming up soon. They've rated around, 8.5 lengths above. This horse has had no luck. I thought this was a bit more of a flashing light run than the market's giving him credit for. Like, I think he should have run a clear second in a fast rating race. Now he gets to 1,100 metres here on Saturday, which looks ideal. He gores out in barrier number 6, so he gets away from that inside draw. And like I said, he ran the third fastest last 800 metres that meeting. Like, that's a nice September run. Mars Crusader, all those kind of horses are running. I thought he was a good bet here at $5.50, considering Najmardi's down from Sydney. Her win was visually impressive. Her figures on the punting form data aren't anything to sort of say that she's really, really smart, and I think she's really, really short at $2.30. So I think Hunnam, like last start, I think the market will find him. I think we're looking at closer to $4 on the day. I think sort of $5.50 if you can get that TopSport boost as well. $6 I took last night. So
boost.
It is pretty tasty there at that price, I would have thought.
Yeah, I agree with your thoughts about the favourite. Coming to draw wide down the chute at Caulfield, second start in the race, won't be easy for it. Hunnam, I mean, there was a savage bias to the rail that night.
He was on the Travelator.
And he's an ordinary beginner. And he was on the Travelator, but...
Off the fence is a good draw.
I thought, speaking of Lloyd, Marine 1, love a set of blinkers. I do. And this horse had the blinkers going in a recent jump out and went like a Learjet.
At Woolloomooloo. Out wide from Marine 1 it was.
Yeah, wide too. Although they must have had a Caulfield trainers allowed to probably take him down there. So we've got the blinkers. It's a very expensive colt. Got a big heavy hit of owners in it. Aussie Kahir, John O'Neill, Stallion, Newgate's in it. I think there'll be real intent about this horse today. So I think with the blinkers on, it can be the one.
Yeah, you could potentially back both, because I think Najmardi's going to start a lot longer than $2.30. Like, if she's holding up at that price, I'd be happy to
That's
lay.
a good play, and I think Marine 1 will be up the front.
Yep.
And Hunnam will be stalking. So you've got one in both camps. So, yeah, good play. Because they're both $5 or $6. So, yep.
It's coming off a really high SP too, Marine 1. Will it drift from 650?
Not sure, to be honest.
It ran good. They were Blue Diamond preludes.
Yeah, I think it'd kind of hold his price there. And
he's proven at the 1100 at Caulfield, because that first run behind General Bow with Ollie on, he ran well. So he's proven at the track and distance.
Yeah, he's got some good numbers, which a lot of the others don't in this race, so I think that could keep him firm.
So heavily against Najmardi, the favourite. Let's kick along to race 4, the Burnt Bryant, handicap over 1,600 metres. We'll mark please from TopSport. We've got Black Pen, early money, 5 into 440. There's a $1,000 big bet there at the $5. We'll announce more of those later in the show. Struck by $5. Iron Edge, $9. And Captain Spud been just knocked off there, $8.50 into $8, and you're looking at Flying Mascot $10 and Ripper Reader $10, and much better the rest. Nico, we're going to have a look at the replay of Black Pen here. Spot him for us.
He's last again. He's another unlucky runner in the Ural candy stripes there at the back. He just had no luck the way this race sort of played out. Dom to shoot your winner. He's got sort of Group 1 form over in Perth, running some big races in their handicaps. And look at Black Pen here. He's just got off the back of him. He runs the fastest last 200 metres of this race. When the 4 of the 2 is the 7th fastest of the race. So he's just, once he's found clear air, he's attacked the line, draws out in barrier number 10 here, gets J Mod aboard. And I think what's really crucial is he's going to find another fast run race. There's a lot of speed drawn out wide here, so they're going to go quick early. He found a fast run race at Pakenham when he won his maiden first up and absolutely brained him. And the last start was just a walk. Yeah, I thought this was a pretty good setup for him, and he's coming out of a lot better form than what a lot of these other horses has. Yes, Dom to Shoot probably wasn't at his best that day. Let's Crocodile had pretty good form sort of throughout the spring. Yeah, I thought Uninterrupted Run, J Mott, Punter's Jockey. I love J Mott. He just seems to get the job done for me.
Outside draw.
I thought he was just a bet here at $4.40. I thought he was one of the better bets of the day, to be honest. Probably the best.
Track profile suits much better at Caulfield rather than Mornington.
That's correct, yeah. And I know this horse well because I ran into him in a maiden way back to a thing called Adeline earlier in March.
And he just exploded, didn't he, off that fast tempo.
And He'd always been a bit grubby out of the gates, and he mightn't have come up the prep before, but he tried well this prep. And the jury was still a bit out for him for me, but he went terrific there first up to say he was really back. Ran a good horse's figures, and then he was good the other day. And Dean Yendall would have loved to have got rolling on him earlier, but he couldn't. So yeah, I thought the stablemate's back in good order. Ripper Reader. Ripper Reader came through that same form as that Princess Raheen's, that really good race I liked to pack in him. She came back and was, I think, $1.80 or something the other day, and just did as she liked.
Bolted in.
She looks back in terrific order, so I'm expecting she might go on to better things this prep, so she can run well too.
I thought Pal Dioro might be a good roughie sort of there. He bumped into Iron Edge sort of first start this prep, who's well respected in this market. Then he pulled up Lame the start after. One last start. I think he's just looking for a faster run race than what he's been. He's been some really slow maidens there at Ballarat. Finds a fast run race here. I wouldn't be surprised if he's getting back and charging to the line for Ma Eustace, who we saw on Wednesday. Absolutely airborne.
What about that yesterday? So yesterday, yesterday, yeah. So they had the jumpers winning.
Yenser.
Yeah. Yep. Yenser winning. Heart of Bassance went like a Learjet in Sydney. Stenheim went like a Learjet at Sandown. Not with him like an hour. Like it was.
Charlize won as well.
Charlize won. What a camp. What a camp.
It's interesting. They're talking about trying to even up prize money, but like place it all around the country. But you can bump into these big stables anyway.
Exactly.
It's scary, isn't it? Okay, looking at race 5, the Jack Elliott Handicap. It's a cracking 1,100 metre race. We've got it's a big price if you can find the winner here. We got Winsome 7 into 650. We got Vowmaster $8. War Correspondent 10 into 950 and $10. A blanket of horses there, $10 the field. Basically, there's so many different angles here, but the replay that you've chosen here is Capriccio, its last start. Nico Noonan.
Yeah, a lot of people probably say this isn't sort of great form, which you could probably make that sort of case, but she's big odds here at $26. Like, you look at the punting form data.
Just coming to the outside. And
just in the blue and white there. D Lane just shaking her up. Like, she's run the best figure in the race at her last start. This was a high-rating race, considering some of the form lines coming in. Ballina Patina is sort of a good yardstick. If you can get past her, usually okay. Like, she ran pretty well behind Isotope the other day. This filly's been back to the jump outs at Camperdown and went like an absolute rocket. I just thought at $26 in a race where there is a fair few chances and you can make a good case for a lot of them. I thought that price was just a big price. I thought she was probably closer to $12 or $13 chance. And at 26, I was happy to have something on. If you're playing exotics, quaddies, first four or something like that, she can definitely bop up in one of them in a pretty even open race. This could be a group class race, I reckon.
Plenty
of
horses with upside. Like, I know a lot of these winners. They're all winners and... Yeah, so, look, she's possibly big odds, but that shows the depth of this race. She's the last start Flemington winner. She's 25-1.
Yeah, exactly. Winsome's your favourite. He's coming in off a Cranbourne win. I suppose the problem with him would be he's faced some small fields in his run today. Now he's going to come up against, 16 of them here on Saturday, and he's drawn a low gate. So just how sort of tractable he is from that draw and how much race sense he has. Vowmaster looked like a Group 1 horse when he was in Melbourne. He's been to Sydney.
He's a very interesting runner, isn't he? That he's coming back to Melbourne, coming back to Michael Walker, who will no doubt ride him a lot quieter than now he's been ridden in Sydney. Be bloody interesting to see if it can be apples to apples and he can switch on back down here.
Even Litchfield County was a good win last start at Sandown in some good figures. So there's plenty of chances here, punters.
More Correspondent, the thing the boys backed at Moonee Valley Knights. It's just a winner.
Yeah, so, he'll get a nice run from barrier number 1 again. Early, I'd probably think Vowmaster will firm up just off his SP sort of profile. Like, he hasn't SP'd over $2.7 in his life, and he's $8 here. I think the market might look to find him, and Caprico, we might be looking at huge odds late, and I'll just be having something small there. And Daniel Bowman, he's a freak trainer. He knows the right horses to bring to town at the moment.
Very good trainer on the up.
Nashville Sound, yeah. Wonder if it's going to be back at the ball this year. Nashville Sound
he's finished. I think he's retired.
Retired, has he?
The other day. He won't haunt us anymore, old Nashville Sound.
DK has got one of the longest memories I've ever come across. He does not forget. Anyone just talks about a random horse in Victoria and he goes, oh, that was the horse that knocked me off in a maiden this day and that day, and he's already said it twice on this show. We're going to take a little bit of a break. Big thanks to TopSport.com.au. They're Australia's biggest betting bookie. They're family owned and they've been doing that for the last 35 years. Give them a try. Bet with a bookmaker you can trust. TopSport.com.au. We'll talk to the Godfather of Pearls next. We'll talk to Mark Lambourne and we'll sink our teeth in the Rosehill card. Take a break. Welcome back to Bet Doctor, behind the curtain look at how pro punters operate. I'm your host, Scoot. I've got DK here, the punter's punter.
Up and
He's
about
up and
today.
about, and so is Nico Noonan. He's on fire. And we're talking Sydney racing, and we're talking to the godfather of pearls, Mark Lambourne. Welcome to the show.
Thanks for having me on again, Scoot.
Mate, great to have you on board. And your roughies ran enormous races in the slip, but definitely black bookers. We've already spoken about that. Stay inside, one like a Learjet, but the first thing you've got to talk about when you're talking Sydney racing is the weather. What's the weather report up there, Mark?
Well, it has worked in their favour, this pushback. 2 weeks ago, we were underwater. Last week, we were raced on a dead track, and this week we'll be on a good track. The more critical factor is the 6 metre rail. So that's a long way out at Rosehill, and that does favour the inside and on pace. So that's what we've got to deal with on Saturday, and that will certainly come into play in the 2 Group 1s. And I haven't got across the rest of the card yet, but look, 2 very interesting races, and I'm looking forward to both of them.
Yeah, it is an absolute sensational card. You've got the Neville Selwood, the Tulloch Stakes, a couple of Mexicans going up there, the Emancipation, Crone, another ex-Mexican. Mexican got the Melbourne form. The hashtag MF is right in the picture. But let's have a look. And the Vinery Stud, DK's horse at odds too. Let's talk about the Vinery Stud. We'll get the market up courtesy of topsport.com.au. I'll run through the movers. Darcy Spinks is in COVID lockdown. She's been in Byron. She's been sunning herself on the beach, so she is absolutely cactus at the moment. But Harmony Rose 260 out to 290. We've got Hungry Heart 6 into 550, and Personal J-Mac takes over here at $6. But
What price is Princess Raheen's there, Scoot?
Princess Raheen, sorry, for the DK maiden followers is 14 out to 17 Express.
Clean up for whatever's next.
Mark Lambourne, take us through the race.
Okay, well, there's obviously a variety of form lines here. Let's talk about the favourite here, who's had perhaps, well, a feature of the race is the fact that nothing's sort of had a run for 3 weeks or more. So it's not like there's a little fit filly in there that's going to grind them out. Everyone's in the same boat here. Harmony Rose has got the last start Group 1 race, and she's a lightly raced filly that's obviously been touted strongly, but yeah, you got the Josh Parr factor here. So anyone saw who Josh ride yesterday at Warwick Farm, you know that he's going to make a prisoner of this race. He'll ride the rail, he'll ride the track perfectly, and she's got to be the horse to beat. Having said that, she's rather well found for her assignment this time. Hungry Heart's got the Winks form line, which is Winks got tailed up by First Seal in the Light Stakes, went out, lost the Light Fingers, lost the Surround, came back and won the Far Lap. She, of course, lost this race, Winks, when she did contest. A horse of Lee Hopes from Kilmore won this race with B Shin on board. Its name just escapes me. T. Berry perhaps slaughtered Winks, and then she went on to get beaten in the Oaks with J.O. Moreira, and then never lost another race. Anyway, Hungry Heart, it was a J-Mac special the other day. He climbs aboard the Hayes horse, which it looks like a bog standard Hayes. Who was the last one we had up in Sydney? A Hood. Rarely wins, but is always
Cam's
bobbing
going
around
awful
there.
at the moment.
I can't say that I'm a fan of Personal. I know she won the Oaks down there last spring, but just a fringe chance in this race for mine. I'd be looking towards horses like Mirrorvale, who actually started a touch shorter than Personal in the Oaks, and the wild cards. The wild card for me is Force of Will, which is this Kiwi with Group 1 Glen on board. She won her last 4. She's only had 5 starts. So keep an eye on her.
Thoughts, Nico Noonan? There's a couple of Victorians here.
Yeah, a couple of Vicks. Personal, I thought could have paraded better her first 2 runs back. I actually backed Chica Fuerte to beat her last start, who's since come out and won the Alexandra Stakes. I think Mark's man, the Glenster, will be probably finding Star Owl from the yard. She's a very good parader, so I reckon he'll be having a good look at her. But yeah, Personal, I think they've just been looking to get her to Sydney and maybe not have her fully screwed down for those runs in Melbourne. So I'd expect a bit of improvement from the yard. Interesting, J-Mac goes aboard and Ollie gets boned there. He goes aboard in Pecunious, who I think if she found a wet track, she'd be very suited, but gets a dry. And then DK's filly, speaking of wild card, she might be the biggest wild card of them all down the bottom.
Yeah, but I'm not in love with the inside draw for her, and I wasn't. They were all tipping her at Bendigo on the weekend from Barrier 1, and there were alarm bells there. But when she won at Ballarat, and she just sat 3 wide the trip and all that, Al Nolan said after the race, she's a big filly and good stride on her. He said, I didn't care, I was out there because I just had to get her into a nice rhythm. So I'm not sure about the low draw, and I think the 2400, whatever's next for her, but she'll still run well. She's got a bit of X factor, that filly.
Impecunious, I thought that might trigger DK. Bussetton.
But is it over 2,000 metres?
Well, I think you...
it is, actually.
How do Bussetton horses go?
I'm only in maidens. So I do the stats on maidens. And he's got a stable full of Tavistocks and Savabeels, all 100,000 plus. And you know what he is in distance maidens in Victoria, over 1,750? 4 from 60 last 3 years. At about minus 60% profit on turnover, and I fell into one on Sunday at Sale. And that's one wondering why I got beat and went horrible. Well, there's your answer. Anyway,
you knew better.
About Sydney.
So definitely a big buyer beware for Harmony Rose at the $2.90. It might be one to watch from the yard. If you want to get Glenn Pollitt set, go to the Racing Rant. Support the guys at the Racing Rant. They do a great job up there. But yeah, definitely big asterisks around Harmony Rose, and the betting late might tell the tale up there. Let's kick along to the Tancred Stakes, race 7. We'll get the market up on the screen. Odds courtesy of topsport.com.au. Sir Dragonet, a horse we know plenty about down here, $5 favourite. We've got Melody Bell, $7. Seems a big price. Spirit Ridge, $8 with Toffee Tongue. We've got Angel of Truth, $8.50, and Mirage Dancer. There's that stable again, $9. Mark, take us through the race.
Okay, well, Melody Bell yet to place in Sydney. I think she's had 6 runs here. She has run 4th in a Doncaster. I have her favourite here because she's got a turn of foot that these others don't. I know it is her first ever run at 2,400, so that certainly stinks. My favourite pearl of all time is the last start 2,400 metre form. Now, I'm not saying that that's a must-have, but there is a horse here that's got an Australian Cup run that fits in here, and a last start Mornington Cup run. Chapada, T. Clark. I'm all over this horse. $15 I've marked it. It's at least double. But returning to Melody Bell, who I think is top pick in this race. She cleaned up Advantage last start. Advantage just wins everything over there. Anyway, she seems a big price. So Dragonet's got a very good looking lead up into this race with the 7-day backup off the run that we pointed out on Monday was perhaps not G-Boss's best effort. And I'm sure he'll be a little bit more focused on Saturday. Toffee Tongue presents as a last start winning mare. She's got a sense of timing about her. Certainly fits in there. Angel of Truth would want it a little bit damper than he's going to get on Saturday, but he's screwed right down now, and his 2,400 metre runs are perhaps his best, and this is his best opportunity for the new yard. Spirit Ridge seems a bit short for a horse that's just out of restricted grade, and now he's into a proper weight, a serious weight for age race. And Mirage Dancer, well, obviously he's very effective at 2,400, and he's just going to poke along there, and he's obviously got a chance as well. But I look at the 2 horses I would focus on at the current prices are Melody Bell, who she's got a lot against her, but these are sort of scrubbers, and Chapada, which is it's got that blue tigeroo feel about it.
You know Chapada, don't we, Scooter? We know him very well.
The Derby.
The Derby.
Well, we unloaded in the Derby, and it was probably still weaving through, trying to get a run there from way back.
Yeah.
Isn't that sickening?
First prep. Anyway, that Benalla Maiden that he won, God, that was good. That was a good day. I don't know, whatever that was, but anyway.
Yeah, you're right. He can recall any race.
It's always a blast from the past with DK on, isn't he? Because every horse you talk about, he can just reference their maiden win.
I think between you two guys in a trivia night, you'd be hard to toss. Nick,
it'd be hard to beat. I got a question here for you, Mark. Just looking at these horses on the backup, I know you said that I think Chapada's the only horse in the race that might have that last start 2,400 metre lead up. Do you sort of give a lot more of a bonus to those horses that are on the backup then, given a few of these have sort of missed that week off, or not really?
Look, the 7-day backup assists. There's no doubt about that. And you're coming out of the Randbet, which is it's a proper race. We saw the best two stayers around battle that out. So it's a proper reference, and you can understand why Sir Dragon, Angel of Truth, and even Miami Bound, for example, are horses of interest because of that particular lead up. But my favourite is the little 2400 metre go, because it's just a different distance. 2400, it's like you step out of another land into one where the question is seriously asked of you.
And a horse that I've got a lot of time for, and I just noticed it's a little bit of a market mover on TopSport, and I'm just not sure if it's got a gear change, but there's a trainer, Murray Baker, shifty as a shithouse rat, I say, and it's the horse is called The Chosen One, and it's been 17 into 13. Any chance, Mark?
Look, it was very plain the other day. I know it wasn't in the right lane, and it's had time off and time off. So clearly this is a target race for it, and he's found the great JHB, but I'll leave it to you.
Yeah, I love this. I love this horse's run a third in the Caulfield Cup behind Very Elegant and Anthony Van Dyke, and then he's run a fourth in the Melbourne Cup behind Twilight Payment and Tiger Moth. This is a horse that loves 2400 metres, so it will be carrying some of mine, and I guess Hugh Bowman rides all right. Fantastic stuff, Mark. How are you going with all your endeavours with Racing New South Wales? Are you free yet, or are you in Siberia with Nathan and Sally Snow?
I think I'm still snowbound. The prize money that I'm owed from a little doer called Mornay around the country here is still in
withheld.
You're joking.
Is still being withheld. Even Pollock still hasn't got his proceeds yet. Still waiting for the chief MVG to tick off on that. But yeah, I think I have to pray to both MVG and Sir Peter Volandis to be allowed some sort of pardon or mercy for my sins. So just watch this space.
Well, they want to see plenty of contrition, I think, if you're going to have to get a pardon, Mike. So we'll have to wait and see.
I'm sure you're right, DK.
You're not. Now, another one. It is April the 1st, so be careful. We're not joking on this show, but an absolute corker from punters.com.au. We're happy to talk about anyone here. We don't care. But they come up with a great gag today. The Harbour Cup, a restricted race, a $5 million race, 4 days out from the Melbourne Cup, 3,000 metre race at Rosehill. $5 million prize money restricted for Australian and New Zealand horses. What do you think about that concept? I think it's something silly enough that PVL might even jump on, and I sort of just tweeted out before if someone at Druitt Street, the work experience kid, had mentioned that, or someone like Chris Roots had proposed that, I think they'd seriously think about something like the Harbour Cup, Mark, a big staying test a couple of days out from the Melbourne Cup. Thoughts?
Got some wobbly legs up here for sure.
Oh, fantastic. I'm not sure that Mark's going to get any closer to his prize money off the back of that, but we thank him for his time. Mirrorvale in the Vinery Stakes, and he's playing around Melody Bell and Chapada in that really tricky Tancred Stakes. Have a great week on the punt, Mark.
Thanks, Nick, and same to you guys.
We're going to take a break now, and obviously we are powered by puntingform.com.au, Australia's best betting form guide and database. It stores up in the cloud. You can take your notes, your form comments, your black book, everything lives there. You cannot delete it. It is impossible to live without puntingform.com.au, so make sure you try and find your edge with them. Welcome back to Bet Doctor, behind the curtain look at how pro punters operate. I'm your host Scoot. I've got DK, the punters punter, and Nico Noonan here with me. I've been fired up all show, and we've stopped laughing and we've straightened the wheels up here in the office of Little Birdie. But we've got the host of the 1-1 pod. The listeners and viewers of Season 1 will know all about this guy. Terry Leighton, joins us for Season 2 for the first time. It's heating up over in the West. How are you, buddy?
Yeah, good, mate. Thanks for having us on. A little bit before my usual wake-up time, but the things I do for you, Scoot.
It's our
about 6 in the morning or something over there, isn't it?
Yeah.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
He's probably just
I'm making it sound like it's 4 in the morning, aren't I?
Well, that's probably the usual time that you get home, wouldn't it, big fella?
Yeah, you're getting home. Yeah. It wouldn't be getting up till it usually starts with it has a PM in the name, not an AM in the name. But no, anything for you lads, and hopefully we can find a couple of winners for the long weekend.
Make sure you check out Terry's podcast. It's at the 1-1 Pod, or you can find some of his stuff on the Betfair Hub. He does free WA previews. So if you're looking to have a bet during the Good Friday, Easter weekend, make sure you check out his stuff. He is a very astute judge, and it's free information, and we're about turning over dollars here. And a big thanks to the people over at WA for having races on Good Friday. Someone's got to do it, and we've got to have a bet. So we're going to have a little bit of a break in Victoria, but we're definitely keen to sink our teeth into the cards at Ascot. And let's have a look at the feature race, the old Comrade Stakes. The TopSport.com.au market isn't up yet, so come on, Tristan, we need to bet. We'll get Terry's take on it, but horses like Trap for Fools, Samizdat, Dig Deep, one he owns, I think, or has something to do with. It's a cracking little race for an 8-horse field. Who do you like here, and what prices have you marked the favourites here, Tez?
Dig Deep's he is mine. Actually, we've got a little hoof in the champ, and the way this race is set up, going from an 87 plus to a 90 plus. The penalty we got for winning the grandstand a fortnight ago isn't really felt all that strongly with that setup. So there's no real reason that we shouldn't win again. And I've marked Dig Deep with the scratching of Tycoon Storm, who was going to be popular. I've marked Dig Deep a $2.80 favourite, Scoot. So expecting him to be probably 3 back the fence. And if we get luck, he'll be too good for him again.
Biggest danger?
Definitely Samizdat. The replay watchers will say it was taking ground off us on the line, but you'll find that Samizdat was off the bit chasing from the 600. I felt we just hit the front a little bit too early. I think you'll find that CJP will coil us up a little bit more here, and if we happen to sprint together, I'm confident as a punter, not an owner. I'm usually a pessimistic owner, Scoots. I'm confident that we can have too many punches late for Samizdat.
You just want a similar setup to last start, wouldn't you, with Dig Deep, with that field just sort of parting on the corner and him just getting the dream run through there from barrier 1. It looks a similar setup here, you'd think.
Yeah, exactly. It really is. Harry Thomas is out of the race, but we've got Trap for Fools as the speed horse. There's not a great deal of other pressure. We've drawn the same. Samizdat's drawn the same. Media Baron will be back to last behind us. Pikey goes on Serenity Bay, but she's a minor question mark at the mile. She's definitely more of a danger with him on it. So it's just the same race. It's just 2 weeks later, and our horse is fitter and happier than it was probably a fortnight ago.
The people's horse, as they call him on the 1-1 pod.
The people's horse, I like it.
What about the crowds over at Perth? You guys, you're basically in your own bubble. You may as well be in your own country. Are the crowds getting around the races at Ascot since COVID lockdown? Obviously, turnover in the eastern states is absolutely booming. And a double question there. How's the crowds at the Ascot races, especially for this Friday, Saturday doubleheader? Does everyone get around these couple of days?
Yeah, Scoo, they definitely do. The one thing I've noticed about the crowds, probably more so in the last 6 months than in the past, is they're more vocal towards the racing. They're getting into it more as a sport. Whether we've been starved of sport or starved of entertainment, we've been cooped up for too long, which I can't really say. It's been a lot harder on the East Coast, obviously. But there's just more of an enjoyment of the racing rather than the crowd that just wants to go there, have a million frothies and see who can be the first one to lose all their money and lose their shoes. So I think there's a greater appreciation of racing, but that might just be me dreaming or me hoping. But no, it's absolutely cracking, and the entirety of WA will get down there one of the 2 days, unless you're a sicko like me who will be there both.
We saw that, and we spoke to Terry about it back in the spring when W. Pike won that race, and it was like 10,000 people chanting the name. They were all engaged. They weren't off in the bars and whatever. They were all out there around the mounting yard getting really engaged, and that was so good for our sport. I loved it. So I think you're on the right tram there, Terry.
How are you finding Pike free racing out west, Tess?
I'm not a massive fan. As a punter, I really like the fact that Pikey gives you a real degree of reliability. You might have to take a shorter price for a few of them, but he gives you a real degree of reliability. But he also means that horses will start severely under the odds at times that you don't like, which means there's betting opportunities around William Pike in those races. But naturally, he actually rode one I owned yesterday. It's a great example, and we know this horse. It cannot lift its legs. It's a horror show. We managed to book Pikey on. It started $2.80. I'd marked it 15-1. Unfortunately, I didn't back the winner. But it's sort of those situations where Pikey is great for punting and great for punters over east, because we can either back him or we can take him on and get a price around him.
DK?
Well, we loved having him over here, and he just, I mean, the Hawks, the rides on the Hawks horses in particular, Master Crusader, Mount Popper. I mean, he said he doesn't want to lead, that he doesn't ride things to lead. He said, I just landed there. Now, he led and went so slow. Imagine how slow they would have gone if he didn't lead. But anyway, I ran some, talking about reliable, what Terry said, I ran some stats on him. He's got some staggering stats. On Grant, Allan and Williams, he goes at 1 in 360 from 180 years. Even on Simon Miller horses, he's 20 from 55, 37%. Like, just amazing, what he said, reliability. And that to be able to ride at 1 in 3 is just stats you just don't see, especially over a bigger sample.
He can look really funny on them, can't he?
Yeah, but
he lifts them.
But then they've got a ray they want. Terry will know this better than me, but I was listening to him the other night talking. He said that Grant and Alana and Bob Peters, they've got him away. They want him to ride their horses. Everybody the right to conserve and finish, and to still get the job done at those sort of stats. They're not landing like Gay Waterhouse, landing in the first 3 all the time. They're being conserved and road to finish. So he's an amazing sportsman. I love him. We were great, blessed to have him over here, and love to have him back. But he's obviously over there for their 3-year-old features coming up. But love him, Tez.
If you've just tuned in, it's Terry Leighton from the 1-1 pod. He could be mistaken for my brother. I'm sort of looking at the Zoom chat here, and we've both got the hat on. And I tell you what, we could be long lost brothers. We both love a bet. But Tez, you got a moral for us on Friday?
I don't know if I've got a moral. We've just given mine a little push deep in the old comrade. With a little bit of luck, should be hard to beat. It's a day where nothing's come up a huge amount above my price, apart from a roughie in the last scoot. So I've never been a man to shy away or tip one that's at my price. We've got to find one that's above my price. And if we scoot to the very last, which I think will be 8 p.m. For you guys over there, 5 o'clock for us, in the Mrs. Max handicap over the 1,200 metres. Horse number 2, Masquerade, will go around the $20, $25 mark. I would suggest this is a bloke who has been, he's probably been stiff at his last 7, you could say. That's usually a good time to get off, but we haven't been on during that period, so I think it might be a time to get on. Last campaign, only 6 months ago, he pushed Long Beach to 1.5 or nearly 2 lengths. It was also Condor Heroes and This'll Test Ya, who was in front of him that day. It's a big drop in grade from the 66 pluses back to these midweek 0, no metro wins. The form apprentice goes on, Keshore Duran. Got a couple of Mauritian apprentices over here who are absolutely flying at the moment. They're basically free 3 kilos. It's a bit of a tongue twister. From the good gate, should muscle up, land in about 6 with a bit of luck. There is nothing in this race. There's bugger all happening. I'm confident he can run the quickest last 2, and look, I'm confident at 20 plus. If Kesh can find a run, he can run a big race each way.
Fantastic. So to sum up on Friday's tips, we've got race 8, Dig Deep in the Old Comrade, and then race 9, Masquerade. Yep. Let's kick across now to Saturday. And the first one, the Amelia Park Beef Handicap. I've been to Amelia Park. They got great wine. I tell you what, I think it was about $100 a head, and we had a skinful. So if you ever get across to WA, if Mark McGowan opens the borders, make sure you check out Amelia Park. They've got beautiful Chardonnays, and they do a good feed, and it's probably 3/4 the price you get at Yarra Valley or Mornington. So make sure you check that out if you're down at the Margaret River there. I'm sure Terry is all over that. But race 6, we're going to dig up a replay here, and I just love that Terry's gone 2 years back into the Karrakatta Plate to 2019 edition here. It's sort of thrown me here, but the horse he's talking about is Tin Snip. We'll get that one up now, and you can talk us through the race, Tez.
4 deep, just coming off the back of Miss West Coast, blue colours.
And why
basically drew 16 of 16 in a 2-year-old race, which is usually the death knell. But you'll see the champ appearing in the middle here. That's Dig Deep coming from the clouds. About this point, I realised we're home and I was scorching down the track, celebrating like an absolute lunatic.
Outstanding there.
I dare say that will always be the biggest day in horse racing ownership that I ever have. But funny story, actually, I'll get this one out quickly, Scoot. But the 2-Year-Old of the Year awards, the Horse of the Year awards in WA were run not long after that. And we went along and we were told that Dig Deep was going to win 2-Year-Old of the Year. And they told me to write a speech and everything, and they'll get up there and I'll do the blah, blah, blah. And I pulled my chair out and they go, and the winner is, and I stand up and they go, the winner is Tin Snip. And I said, you are kidding me. So I didn't get to drop my speech that afternoon, but luckily we get to Tin Snip today, which will make me feel better when she salutes.
What price have you marked Tin Snip in the Mini Park Beef?
I've got a Tin Snip, $2.70. Anyone that saw the replay 7 days ago, which might have been slightly more relevant, but I wouldn't get to show my horse winning the Karrakatta if that was the case. I would say he was backed off the map. Got him behind him, absolutely bolting, just couldn't get a run. I think if she does get through, doesn't just win, probably wins by panels. So it's funny when a good horse like this, after that win, she came out and won the sires. He came out and won the sires. He only beat about 4 or 5 horses home in the next year and a half, these next 6-7 starts. They just couldn't get him going whatsoever. Real patient campaign, trial. Huge first up behind Maricino, who won on Saturday, and Misty Ladd, who won the Esperance Cup. 1 second up, defeating a really strong midweek field. Should have been a Saturday class race. And then last start was backed off the map and a moral beaten. This is the old 7-day redemption here. I think you'll get a slightly inflated price because of that number next to its name. And as I was just saying before, I'm talking DK, it was Pleto. Pikey's on Pleto here, and that will be over bet. So we will definitely see a backable price here for Tin Snip, Scoot.
Outstanding. So take the 2019 Karrakatta plate double here Friday into reference. Saturday. I love it. Absolutely. A little bit wide and took me a while to get my head around that one, but I see what you're doing here now. Karrakatta plate. This is the big one, race 8 on Saturday. Let's get the market up, courtesy of TopSport.com.au. We've got Pat Gossas is the market mover, $7 into 4.80. We've got Spin the Knife, $8. We've got Hoyan, $8. And we've got Flying Missile, $9. Who's going to be the winner here?
Well, good luck finding the winner here. This is as open a Karrakatta plate. The main thing I'm hoping for, Scoot, is a scratching, because we've actually got a reasonable share in the first emergency, and we think we can win the race if we get a run. But that's looking unlikely, unfortunately, at this stage. But Pat Scott Sass was the big beneficiary of the barrier draw. I think she stands at something like 17 hands. Or something of that nature. She's one of the biggest 2-year-olds I've seen. It sort of reminds me of when you're playing sort of under 12s footy and there's that one kid in the team who's about 6'4" and just dominates the opposition. That's the feeling Pat Scott Sass gives me. She's just bigger than them and stronger than them. So it'll be interesting for me. I don't want to take her on too heavily, but she will be well back. She probably only starts shorter, but from barrier 2, she's going to get cluttered away on that fence. And for a big horse, that'll be the first time that's occurred to her in her very short career. So, look, I'm going to look a little bit further afield. I've marked Flying Missile a $7 favourite. I think it was about $9.50 there with TopSport. Has really good tactical speed early, never run a bad race in her career. The timing for this is perfect. Would have loved to seen her draw a little bit better, but from the gate, Chrissy Parnham is riding just as well as Pikey at the moment. He comes across. If he's going to find a spot, I've got him potentially finding the 1-1, and from there, she'll have to be super hard to beat, and she can run us a nice each-way race at a price.
Any thoughts there, Nico? Has T-Dogs found one?
That was the horse that pricked my interest a little bit, just having a sort of a limited knowledge of Perth racing. But I'm pretty sure I backed her before, just early days, and she always looked like a horse who had a lot of gate speed, like Terry said, and has a lot of ability. I think Chris Parter might already be on the board by this stage. He's got the Gun Per Filly Clairvoyance earlier in the day he's riding, so she'll be very interesting for the punters to watch. I imagine, $1.50 Tezza? She'll be looking at that sort of odds, I imagine.
Mate, I'm not an odds-on punter, but I reckon $1.50 might even get me. I reckon she goes around about $1.30, I reckon at best. Yeah, she's a gun. Really looking forward to seeing her come back. And the best part about her being in it was one race I didn't have to do late into the night last night, because you just know it's not a betting proposition race. But yeah, Chrissy is flying at the moment. As I said, the issue with Flying Missile is just that barrier. If he can find a spot or work his way to the breeze without doing too much work, she'll be in it for a long way. Neville Parnham's got 3. All of them are semi in the market, and he said this is clearly the pick of his bunch as well if we needed another little cherry on top.
I love the little mention there of the 1-1. When you mentioned that horse before, but DK's a big fan of that. He loves horses that push forward and off the fence, so definitely fishing in the right sort of ponds there. But if you want to follow more of Terry Leighton stuff, it's at Perth Racing Guru. I've nearly knocked Mike over again, or at the 1-1 pod. Make sure you check them out. These guys preview Perth races, and they just live, breathe the racing like no one else does over West. West is best. Thanks for joining us, Tez, and we'll let you get on with the rest of your morning there. You're up and about now. There's no going back to bed.
Yeah, might have to go for a run, or yeah, that's not going to happen. But thanks for having us on, guys. Thoroughly appreciate it, and hopefully we can find you guys a winner.
Good stuff, and big thanks to the Perth Racing Camp for carrying the can over the Good Friday and Saturday period. It's going to be fantastic racing there, so make sure you check out the odds at topsport.com.au, and hopefully Tristan has put all the markets up so we can sink our teeth into betting at Perth by the time we finish recording this one. We're starting to run out of time here and go over, so it's now time for the TopSport big bets, and we'll just talk about a couple of the big chances here, or whether the guys here line up on any of these runners. The first one's in the Tulloch Stakes. It's Rosehill Race 3, number 3, Young Werther, 2,500 at $5.50.
Yep.
Bit of a flashing light run last start. It's knocking the door down.
I've backed him in the Derby at $26, so I think he's definitely the horse that's been on the improve. Parade with a lot of improvement. His first 2 runs back this preparation. And now out to 2,000 metres, I think 2,400 will be right up his alley. So it's been a good lead up, the Tulloch into the Derby the last few years.
Any thoughts, DK?
Yeah, no, he looked an improver in that Moonee Valley race. The market liked horses out of that race at Bendigo on Saturday. So yeah, he's certainly an improver.
The other one there is the Rosehill Race 5, the Star Kingdom, number 10, prime candidate, $1,000 at the $10 quote. Any thoughts?
I haven't looked at that.
Yeah, I haven't had a good look at our prime candidate, but he's just a typical sort of Sydney number these days. He just goes round and round.
It's a pretty deep race there by the look of it. And then Caulfield Race 4, number 6, Black Pen, as I mentioned earlier in the show, $1,000 at $5 there. They've knocked the price off. We're in agreement there. And then Eagle Farm Race 5, number 3, Got a Kiss, $1,000 at $4 there. Anything from the racing show, boys?
No, they haven't. They're not up and about with their pod yet. They're just waiting till Friday. But Got a Kiss. Yeah, she's been a speedy filly throughout her career, so I imagine there'll be plenty of eyeballs on her in the early market sort of money, suggesting she might be ready to go.
Sensational stuff. There's plenty of betting action. DK out wide.
Yeah, betting today. A couple of shorties today. I think we've got Warwick Nabil Saturday. Kerrang look like scrubbers.
Stall, Mornington.
Stall's always a good mooning.
Even
Mornington can go in the bin again after Tuesday. And then
after Tuesday.
Oh, fuck. Well, that was my first bet at Mornington for the year. I was sort of bothered, John. This thing's a moral backet. Tip it. And over it goes by 50 to 1 chance, of course. I'll have a spell for a morning. I'll go to Stall. Be good. Stall's always a good meeting. That Stall weekend, isn't it? Stall Cup Day.
And Nico Noonan's mounting yard stuff. You need to resubscribe for the month of April. The promo period is over, so make sure you check out Little Birdie Shop to get on top of his stuff. And Scooty's got a black booker at Warwick Nabil, so as soon as the markets go up, I might tweet that one out.
It's at Warwick Nabil?
Warwick Nabil, I found one. Yeah, little black booker.
Right camp too.
Hey?
Right camp.
Yeah. I think it's probably going to open up a little bit short. The race has come up a little bit thin, but it's in a much better race than they nommed it for last time, so it is always the way.
Something.
Yeah, there's a couple of other horses in Sydney that have ended up getting into some really tough races as well, but just when you black buck horse, there's nothing sure that the trainer just sets the sights way too high. It's a little pet hate of me and DK.
I was going to have another blue, but I won't.
We'll save
I had a moral maiden. Moral. So where do they decide to put it in a listed race? 250s. 251 it was. Got beaten a length and a half. So what price will be in the maiden next start? 1.6 or something. Unbelievable.
A big thanks to Punting Form and TopSport. We're going to wrap up the show. There's plenty of winners. There's so many tips, and we can't wait to produce more Bet Doctor next week. It's going to be a cracker. There'll be so much to talk about after a big Easter weekend of racing. Make sure you jump onto Apple, Spotify, our YouTube channel. Follow us, rate us, like us, or if you hate what we're saying, bag us. We don't really care. Thanks for coming in, Nico, and thanks, DK.
Thanks, boys. Good show.
Good little show.